Hello and welcome to my 1 year anniversary video. Yes, it has been 1 whole year from today that I've been making videos over here. And to celebrate, I thought it would be fun to rank all the artists I've already done. So we'll be ranking all of these guys from my least favorite to my favorite. Because even though I didn't start doing rankings until about 4 months into this channel, I thought, what else could I possibly do? It's been by far my most consistent content. I don't know. I thought it'd be a fun challenge, because trying to pit, Foo Fighters against System of a Down or Weird Al with Rush. It's like, how do I even compare these? Well, you're about to find out. And before we get started, obviously, I like all of these bands, otherwise I wouldn't own their entire discographies. So, despite some bands being at 14 or 13, I still fully enjoy them. I went about this video like, if I had to never listen to one of these bands again, which ones would go first? So essentially, this is just my favorite bands list that only include my year 1 rankings, because there are a couple of artists that I have not gotten to yet, which I absolutely love, but I've been holding off because they're trying to put out new albums. Or just haven't gotten to them. Whatever. Let's just get into number 14, yeah? Yeah, so, again, I'm a big fan. But if you've seen my Weird Al video, you know that my experience with him, trying to find all the CDs and over several years, and getting to the point where my friends were looking for me too, it was one of my favorite musical experiences ever. However, when it comes down to it, I wouldn't prefer parody music over real music. Not that it's not real, it's very real, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? So while I love records like Mandatory Fun, Straight Outta Linwood, Poodle Hat, I would just like my more serious music instead. So, I really like Blackfield, but I wouldn't say I'm totally in love with any of their records. 5 is my favorite one, but it probably wouldn't even be on my top 50 albums of all time. I enjoy their music, both the Steven and the Aviv stuff, but there are other projects of his that I would much prefer. So, Aristocrats are great. I mean, Marco and Guthrie are just masters at their craft. But truth be told, I'm really only in love with the third record, Tres Caballeros. Thank you, Leonardo Cruz, for confirming that pronunciation, by the way. Culture Clash is really good too, but there are still a lot of moments on there that I don't care for too much, and that's most of the other 2 records. This one I would comfortably say is one of the finest albums in instrumental music, but it's really the only one. Tommy's solo career has been pretty solid, I'd say. I really like Modern Noise and Don't Touch the Outside, both really great. Velcro Kid, a very different one in these groups of albums, has some really good moments on it too. I just wouldn't say any of these solo albums had as much of an impact on me as artists above, or even Between the Buried and Me, which we will do as soon as the new one drops. You bet your ass. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex, but Baroness is going here. But they at least cracked the top 10. So, Red and Purple. Amazing albums. There's no doubt about that. Gold and Grey has some parts on it I really like too. But I'm sorry, the rest of them are just too average for this band to be any higher on this list. I mean, they were just barely beaten out by the artist right above them. But I'd say these 2 albums alone move them higher on my list. And Lord knows they're the band that made me start to like more post-sludgy kind of metal. Haken comes just a little bit above Baroness because, man, I cannot sing The Mountain's Praise high enough. This one combined with the masterpiece that is crystallized off Restoration and some great songs on Affinity, most excellent records. But, like Baroness, the rest are just okay. The first 2 and the latest 2 don't do a whole lot for me, but man, that middle area is just phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of hurts putting Metallica at number 8. I mean, wow, if 14-year-old me saw this list, he would think this is some sort of cursed timeline. I owe everything to these guys, but when it comes down to it, they're not the mega kings they once were to me. I still love albums like Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, S&M, and all the others. All of these albums have something to offer me. The bands above are just either more interesting or more enjoyable for me to listen to these days. So while I will forever be in debt to them, I've just outgrown them. Shit, this list is getting really hard now, but I think I can put Steven Wilson's solo career in the middle of this list. So of course The Raven is damn near a masterpiece. Hand Cannot Erase has some even more great moments on it, and yes, even The Future Bites has some songs on it that I like. But from the first one to A Lot of Grace for Drowning to the Bone, it really isn't doing him a whole lot of favors. This is about as high as he can go, but still, I absolutely love this man, no matter how much you want him to Steven it down, Josh. Not you, Patrick, other Josh. Foo Fighters, honestly, it's surprising they made it this high. But look, man, Wasting Light is the reason for that. Again, it's one of my favorite records of all time. Then you throw on Nothing Left to Lose, Color in the Shape, the debut, and the new one that they just dropped, which I liked way more than I thought it would. Without a doubt, the most commercial band on this list. Yes, even more than Metallica in their later years, which frankly is bullshit. Still though, great band, and honestly, I think my Home Dogs Happy Foo Year project helped me appreciate these guys even more. So congrats, Nick. You had an influence on where these guys went. System of a Down frankly shot up greatly after I went through them again. I've always loved Toxicity, that's no secret. But when I rediscovered their self-titled bangers like the whole first half of the album, and then other tracks like Cigarro, Vicinity of Obscenity, and goddamn Holy Mountains, come on, I can't believe how long it took me to realize how incredible that song is. I was absolutely addicted to them. I had to listen to Blackfield because they were next, but I kept on listening to System because their sound is just so unique to them. So yeah, top 5 for sure. So now we're getting down to it, huh? God, Iron Maiden. I mean, what even needs to be said? From Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Power Slave, The Book of Souls, Somewhere in Time, the first one. Sure, there's like 5 albums that aren't so great, including the entire 90s catalog, but that's like 30% of their shit. The other 70 is just excellent. For being my first live show ever, what a great band to start that with. I mean, the bar of expectations of everyone else was just shot up. Iron Maiden puts on one hell of a show. Oh, Porcupine Tree. So, I may not be in love with as many of their stuff as Maiden, but this trio is just too great to pass up. I mean, I just still remember going through this band for the first time and just being so impressed by them really not having a weak record. Like, even Signify, which is my least favorite, is light years ahead of like Killers or Fear the Dark. So because they really never hit a dry spell, they can rest safely at number 3. So, Rush. Yes, I would definitely say that they have some weak albums like Test for Echo and Presto. But out of 19 albums, not all of them are going to be bangers. But they and the number 1 spot on this list are responsible for breaking me out of that Metallica 24/7 phase. I owe just as much to Rush as I do as Metallica. And I mean, come on. The influence of Neil Peart is just too great. In fact, he was so influential that I actually stole the opening fill of Spirit of the Radio and threw it in my very, very shitty band back in the day. And I don't mean like I just kind of did it. I mean, I quite literally stole the exact fill. What a disgrace. Anyway, yeah, along with Clockwork Angels being my favorite album of all time, you got Moving Pictures, which is also on that list. Some are pretty high. Permanent Waves, Hemispheres. I mean, come on. So many phenomenal songs that just overshadow any of their weaker stuff. So, that's why they're at number 2 on this list. Which brings us into number 1. I couldn't help it, man. It's no secret that I love Trivium. I mean, this channel was built on them, okay? The first, 20 videos on this channel was just all of them. I mean, they, along with Metallica, are the only bands that I know every single song by heart. Minus a few off Ember to Inferno, maybe. Shogun, second favorite album of all time, along with Clockwork. These two are what made my music taste transform. This for the proggy stuff, and this for the heavier stuff. I wouldn't listen to any of these heavier growl vocal bands if not for Trivium. I don't think I can give my absolute number 1 favorite band of all time, but I'm 80% sure it's Trivium. So out of all my year 1 bands, they come out on top. So that is it. Thank you for everyone who has commented, liked, or even viewed any of my videos this year. We will definitely be continuing the rankings because there are still 9 bands that I own all the albums to, and I haven't gotten to them yet. And we will be starting year 2 with Nirvana. Yay! Which will be my most predictable list of all time. I'm pretty sure that 70% of the Nirvana fan base is going to have the exact same one. I guess the odds aren't that crazy because there's only 3. I mean, there's only so many combinations it could be. But yeah, that's my segue because it was supposed to be Foo Fighters last, not Steven. And I was going to be like, hey, the next bands are going to be other bands that Dave Grohl has drummed on. Who could it be? There's 2. One's Nirvana. Who's the other one? Oh man, I'm very excited for that one. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if you want to leave your list of your ranking of these 14 bands, go ahead. I think it would be fun to do these yearly. My year 2 video be all the bands I've done. Post, was it Steven? Yeah, and just do them group by years. That's it for now. Stay tuned for Nirvana very soon. Stay tuned for the next one after them. And then stay tuned after that for the big Mama Jam that's going to be on this channel because that one is fucking massive. Again, thank you for everyone's support. Thank you for watching my video. And rock on. Christ.